Assalamu alaikum and welcome. Today we're going to break down a really profound theological argument, one that's built so carefully, verse by verse, right inside the Quran. We're going to see exactly how one single controversial claim gets challenged and ultimately leads to a conclusion that shapes an entire worldview.
All right, so let's jump right in. This whole argument really unfolds in 4 clear stages. First, we'll look at the huge claim that kicks the whole thing off. Then we'll see the wild, cosmic reaction it causes. After that, we'll dig into the actual theological logic behind it all. And finally, we'll see how it all wraps up with a final reckoning.
Okay, so first things first, the text lays the groundwork. It puts a central claim on the table, a claim that the entire rest of the passage is built to take on. You could say this is the spark that lights the fire for everything that comes next.
Now pay close attention to how this is presented. This is really key. The text isn't stating this as a fact at all. It's quoting what other people are saying. And that's a very deliberate move, right? It immediately frames this statement not as truth, but as an idea that's about to be completely taken apart.
So how does the Quran respond to this claim? Well, it doesn't start with a calm, logical rebuttal. Not at first, anyway. The initial reaction is just visceral. It's this incredibly powerful, emotional, and even cosmic rejection of the entire idea. The response is immediate, and it is severe. The language used here is so intentionally sharp. It's framing this claim not as just some simple mistake, but as something morally and theologically outrageous. It's a complete and total condemnation, right out of the gate. And you know, to truly grasp the weight of this response, we have to zoom in on the specific Arabic word that's used here, idda. This word doesn't just mean wrong or bad. No, it carries this sense of something absolutely monstrous, just appalling. It's a word you'd say for something that causes just profound shock and horror. And to drive home just how atrocious this claim is, the text paints this incredible picture of cosmic chaos. It starts with the heavens. The idea is that this claim is so offensive to the natural order of things that the very sky itself is on the verge of just rupturing and tearing apart.
And this cataclysmic imagery just keeps going. It moves from the heavens right down to the earth. The point being made is that this claim is so fundamentally incompatible with the world we live in, the very ground beneath our feet, that it would literally shatter reality itself.
And then the imagery hits its peak with the mountains, the ultimate symbols of stability and permanence just collapsing into dust. The message here could not be clearer. This claim isn't just wrong. It's an idea so fundamentally unnatural that creation itself would crumble under its weight.
Okay, so after all of that incredibly powerful, dramatic imagery, the passage makes a big pivot. It shifts from that emotional, cosmic rejection to actually explaining the core theological reasoning. So the question is, why? Why is this claim considered so monstrous in the first place?
And the key phrase here is, it is not appropriate. Or another way to say it is, it's not befitting. This totally shifts the argument. It's not just saying the claim is false, it's saying it's conceptually impossible. It just doesn't align with the very nature of God. The whole idea of a son, it just doesn't fit.
You see, this entire argument is anchored in one of the most fundamental principles of Islam, Tawhid. And Tawhid is the unwavering belief in God's absolute, indivisible oneness. So from that perspective, the idea of a son isn't just wrong, it's a logical contradiction. It would imply some kind of partnership or a shared divine nature, which is just completely incompatible with the idea of a single, unique, transcendent creator. So the text doesn't just tear down an idea, it presents a clear alternative. It says the proper relationship isn't divine sonship, it's universal servitude. So instead of one person having this special, familial connection, the text argues that every single being in existence has the exact same relationship to God, that of a created being to its one and only creator. And to really hammer this point home, the text states that every single thing in the heavens and on the earth is an abd. This term defines the universal status of all creation. Everyone, everything, is in a state of submission and servitude to the one creator. This leaves absolutely no room for ideas of kinship or any kind of shared divinity. So where does this whole theological argument lead us in the end? Well, it brings us all the way to the end of time, to the day of resurrection. And this is presented as the ultimate moment of truth, when this fundamental reality will become undeniably clear to every single person.
And to build up to this final point, the text emphasizes God's total, complete awareness. It says that every single creature has been counted and accounted for. We're not talking about a vague general knowledge here. This is like a perfect, precise inventory. Absolutely nothing and no one is overlooked.
And here it is, the final, decisive statement. And honestly, everything hinges on one single powerful word, alone. On the day of judgment, every single person will come before God by themselves, stripped of any status, any family ties, or any supposedly special relationships. It is the ultimate equalizer. The only thing that will matter in that moment is that fundamental relationship, the servant standing before the master.
So in the end, what this powerful passage shows us is that defining this core relationship, creator and creation, master and servant, it's not just some minor theological detail, not at all. It's the very foundation that an entire system of belief, morality, and purpose is built on. It really gets to the heart of the most fundamental questions we can ask. Who are we? And who is God?